Hello there, this is Brandon from Galaxy Doc Market. Today is July 13th, 2025. It's about 9:38 a.m. This is super important, and so I'm going to keep it fast moving and hit all the pertinent points. Otherwise, I'll be talking for 3 hours. The title is obviously why $50 plus silver is imminent. And as you saw on Friday, July 11th, silver finally broke out of its 50 plus year old cup and a handle pattern. That handle was approximately 11 years in the making. And this is significant. And you can see the parabola equation right here. And you can kind of tell what I'm going to be talking about. So here's the disclaimer. Please pause it and read it. If you agree, please move forward. And of course, shameless plug about our X.com Galaxy Doc Market. Follow us for our daily updates and my sometimes pertinent, but a lot of times zany and some personal opinions. Follow us there. Thank you. All right. So about 2 weeks ago, I posted a previous video on why I thought that silver was about to break out, and it sure has happened. And this 900-pound gorilla staring right at you slide is basically in full force. And we talked about this resistance zone, and basically this resistance zone is now in the process of being taken out. We are right now right at 39. Despite some massive Silver Slam Crew action at the close, and nothing happened. It just kept powering forward. The Slam Crew, which is basically a consortium of mega banks headed by JP Morgan Chase and perfected by Blythe Masters. I think she's doing some Bitcoin ETF thing somewhere else on some startup. Let her cause havoc over there. But mainly right now, we are on the precipice of breaking out above this $42 level resistance. Once that happens, of course, the 1980 and 2011 peak was just under $50. And I believe at this cycle, possibly this week, we're going to blow past through there. And so that's the whole purpose of talking about this video. But this is what we talked about. We finally have a breakout out of this cup consolidation pattern. So Batman and Robin shows up, and Robin goes, "Holy Batman, parabolic silver, Batman," right? Holy parabolic silver. It didn't come out right. And it's really about to happen, folks. And, a lot of us are traumatized by the Silver Slam Crew. This is about the level at which they're going to be slamming the crap out of silver, right? The problem is, I'm going to bring you this right here. Don't mind Trump over there. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But, we're talking about here. This is a really pertinent post. And then we'll talk about this a little more. But into the close, into the last hour of the close, over 483 million ounces of silver, paper silver short, was attempted to slam down. And guess what happened? It didn't slam down. It went higher and broke above 38. It's the level that they needed to really slam it below, and they couldn't do it. It went higher to 39. Okay, so what we have right now, and I just want to not belabor the point, but this is from my own chart. And this is from the 1970s on, this nice little cup pattern. And realistically, this is the level at which we need to break above for us to start our parabolic move. We got kind of close to there, right about this level. And then we retreated a little bit because of the Silver Slam Crew action. But overall, normally in the past, that type of action would have brought us all the way back down and probably suppressed it all the way down into the 36th level. Okay. So pay attention to this. This is significant because on the previous video about 2 weeks ago, and you might want to watch that because it will give you a good preface to what I'm talking about and give you a better insight into what is coming next. So basically, right here I said, hey, look, the Silver Slam Crew right here, JP Morgan, Comex, LBMA, Deutsche Bank, global banks are running out of options because they have been slowly trying to cover their short positions, and this is why silver was trading sideways. But I said, as long as that we could stay above this critical level, this is what I call my pivot level, we're going to rocket higher, and we're going to take out this 37,405, which is really the barometer for me about putting, my own assertion that the parabolic move is coming. Sorry, I cannot talk this morning. So what happened? So this is the Friday close. This is the silver slam crew action. They desperately try to slam this down, and yes, we hit 39.225. Do I think it was the silver slam crew doing the paper shorts that caused it to blip down to 0.075 from 0.225 up here? No, absolutely not. This is a normal technical move. So we broke out, and so this level right here, denoted by this red dotted line, is our critical pivot, and we broke out. That is the breakout from the handle position that we talked about. Pay attention. This is not done yet. Okay, this hasn't even started yet. Okay, there's going to be continuous efforts by the slam crew and the global banks and the central banks. While they're accumulating silver, they don't want this to move up faster. However, I think they've just lost the narrative. Okay, and no one believes them. So 2 weeks ago, I posted this and I said, hey, look, they're slowly covering their short positions, right? That there were over 68 million ounces short on silver, and that number is declining, and which was basically a sign that the silver breakout was imminent. Now, we find out on Friday, if you look right here, okay, level, and you see an uptick into the close, and that is the silver slam crew at work desperately trying to bring this down, and they failed, folks. I would pay attention to when the futures market opens and throughout the night, especially after the Japanese market or Nikkei opens up. There's going to be a significant, either they pull a rabbit out of their butt and continue to increase this silver slam position, or that basically they're going to have to cover back down. And that is the fuel that I believe will be propelling us above the 40s. And I honestly don't think we're going to stay in the 40s very long. And this whole week and the following week is going to be critical. The highest it's ever been, if you look at the COMEX value, it was in 2011. We hit 49.99, right below 50. I think we're just going to blow past that level. Okay, I think the inertia is there, the naked short positions, which the banks are going to have to cover. And in our group, we're talking about taking on short positions, and we have short positions on JP Morgan Chase and Deutsche Bank, two of the most toxic banks. And if this silver breakout and precious metals breakout, and have you watched copper, by the way? Not to digress, but and yes, that's based on Trump's tariffs, but it's also telling you, signaling to you that the precious metals and industrial metals are about to break out. But having said that, we're basically at that precipice level where we're going to be having a massive short squeeze that is imminent, and that's coming. Okay, and I've been saying this for a while. Some of you ridiculed me and all that other stuff. It doesn't really matter. The main thing is, am I speaking to you and am I resonating to you? You need to get some precious metals. I mean, physicals, and also just for grins and giggles. And if you want to make some great money, we're looking into the futures options. Okay, so this is the other one that is very, very important. And, there's over 122,000 silver ounces short at the commercial level, right? The small speculators are really not in this game, okay? Really, the total open interest on the short position is 9,193 options contracts and futures contract positions combined. Okay, what could possibly go wrong, especially when they basically try to slam this on Friday, and then now on Monday they're required to cover this and panic. Okay, it's just it's just the shorts are the reason why in the bull market we continue to have these parabolic and continuous moves, and I believe that move is happening now in silver and gold. Okay, so let's move on and say, hey, look, silver's at 39, 50 plus is imminent. That's what I've been talking about all day today, right? The Slam crew increased their paper shorts on Friday foolishly, and that shows you the level of desperation. We have to look at the 10-year and the TNX, which is rising despite the fact that Trump wants lower yields. That's not going to happen. This system is broken. Why is it broken? Just put it simply, you can't expect to print money out of thin air and have everybody believe you that there's value. Okay, and everybody knows it, and this is the reason why we have geopolitical instability and all this other stuff that is going on. And yet people are, they have their heads in the sand and they are not, awake yet. And my job is to try to wake you guys up, okay, and don't be a bag holder. But this is the black swan warning. I don't know what the black swan is going to be, but there's a hell of a lot of them floating around right now, okay? So that to that effect, okay, this is basically a couple of weeks ago. Go check out my video again. A couple of weeks ago, I said, hey, look, you know what? I think the intervention, the Fed has printed so much money buying back their own bonds. That charade is over. It's like you print basically maxing out your credit card, and then you go to your laser printer and print out a bunch of dollars and send it to the credit card companies. For a while, that credit card company, played the monkey's uncle and basically accepted it, but no more. People aren't buying that. We've always known it was fake money, and people are not buying it. And so what I said was, despite that massive intervention of printing money to buy back their own bonds, and by the way, there's nothing federal about the Federal Reserve Bank. They are a for-profit private bank that somehow got the ability to set monetary policy and set money supply. The Treasury should be doing that, and I think that's what Trump is working on, I think. Not sure these days. But realistically, with the declining dollar, and I said with the rising or stable 10-year yield, that's a recipe for disaster. At these rates, all the banks are insolvent. Okay, so fast forward to Friday's close. Okay, here we go. And what's happened? So we broke out of that $42 consolidation level, right? Right into here. Sorry, forget about this one. And now we're at 44.23. The dollar has not broken out. Now, a lot of people have said, me, myself included, I said, hey, maybe they're setting up some form of a inverse head and shoulders situation and it's going to move higher. But, the dollar is losing its reserve currency status. And that's basically what's happening. And the market is basically calling BS to the short-lived Trump pump. And for those of you, and I'll cover this briefly, otherwise I'll be talking for 5 hours, right? And I'm trying to keep this under 20 minutes. Okay, so basically, market is calling BS to the Trump pump. Okay, for those of you that are super bullish and thinks we're going to the moon with Elon Musk, I got news for you. It's not going to happen. So here's that long-term chart that from 2 weeks ago, and this is where we are now. We are very, very close to that upper trend line. So this is the intervention that came, and this is it. So this is the gift that keeps on giving. These are the levels that you might have to start thinking about possibly protecting your positions, either by cover puts or I don't know. I can't give financial advice here, right? But what I can tell you is that you have to be looking for some form of a pullback and then that imminently. Shortly. Okay, I'm not covering that technical aspect, but I'm just going to show you where we are. This is super important at these levels. Every time we touch those levels, bad things happen, and it doesn't mean that you can't have these kind of recovery events like here, but you have to know that the market is super euphoric, and it's the retail that is euphoric. The big boys are not doing that. Okay. Watch the XRP crisis unfold, and this is from the last couple of weeks. When I talked about for people to possibly be getting into XRP, this is 2 weeks ago. Here's where we are right now, folks. All right, since that time, we went from. Oh, just hold on one second. We went from $2.19. And watch this XRP and price movement. Okay, XRP is about to take out its previous highs about above these levels. Okay, we're getting close. This is not because the stock market is doing well, folks. This is a safe haven asset move. Okay, if you don't believe me, let me tell you about what's happened to Bitcoin since we last talked about it. Bitcoin is flirting with 120,000. We have 119. It's basically the parabolic move. The cryptos will lead the move higher, but silver's just woken up. Okay, so I don't know how much more I could pound the table on this situation. XRP is going to be the rails in which the liquidity will be provided. It will become the global reserve currency asset, providing that liquidity. Okay, there's rumors circulating now that the XRP is taking over Swift's function. And what does Swift do? Swift basically allows you to transfer money across different countries, send wire payments. And how long does that wire take right now? A day, 2 days, 3 days, right? XRP could do that in milliseconds. So don't be these people. I've been pounding the table. Still not too late until the $10. Not financial advice, but you need to do what you need to do. Don't be these people like in Bitcoin after XRP hits 1,000. And then when it goes to 2,000 and you still think, oh, it's going to pull back to 200 and I'll get it then. Do not do that, folks. Okay? If you know, you know, right? This is the global reserve currency, folks. All right? So, do you have XRP yet? I mean, you got to get it. I mean, that's just the way it is. So 2 weeks ago, we were at greed, and despite all the geopolitical turmoil and all this other stuff, and all these narratives coming out about the Epstein files, who gives a crap? Don't look at what they say. Look at what they do, because right now, people are so bullish that we are now in the extreme greed level. This is where market corrections and sharp pullbacks occur, and silver, gold, everything else, 10-year yield, US dollar is screaming that this is a false rally, folks. Okay? What could possibly go wrong, right? VIX has been flashing. This is 2 weeks ago. I said, hey, here's a buy signal. And then it pulled back a little bit, right? Oh, you said, oh, you're wrong. But then we got the buy signal. We got another buy signal. This is what VIX does. And then before you know it, you either have it or you don't. VIX is basically an insurance policy against the sudden market gyrations. And I think volatility is going to increase this week. So in summary, here's what I think. Silver is going to $50 imminently. Okay? It could be tonight. It could be this week. Maybe in 2 weeks. Doesn't really matter, but the banks are broken. The new money system is coming, and I still believe Trump is setting U.S. up for a bankruptcy of sorts. He could revalue the gold that we hold, supposedly, if it's all there in Fort Knox, right? I think, what is it, 257 million tons or something like that, supposedly? And that's valued at $42. What if Trump revalues gold to current level of $3,300, $3,400? Right? That changes the equation. But regardless, that's speculation. Okay, I'm just letting you know for food for thought. So the silver suppression tactics mastered by Blake Masters. Oh, that was kind of poetic, wasn't it? It's not working. Squeeze is coming, folks. Please. Okay? Silver, US dollar 10-year treasury yield, and the VIX are screaming, do not trust this rally. All right? You need to have some physical metals. You need to have money outside of the bonds. These bonds are about to implode, folks. And for those of you with long-term retirement funds or whatever the case is, go talk to your financial advisor, right? The bonds are not safe. U.S. debt is not safe. The global debt is not safe. Munis are not safe, okay? Silver explosion is imminent, 45 to 50 plus this week. I think it goes higher, but I just want to remain conservative. That's my message for now, folks. Follow me at Galaxy Market. I'm still posting on YouTube. Basically, you can subscribe there. And, and if you want to learn about working with me, you got to email me here. Okay? Lots of great stuff. We're just rocking and rolling, having fun. And, taking lumps and taking gains and being grateful and all that other stuff, right? Remember, take care of your family. Remember what's number one. Put God first and your family, and then don't listen to these media pundits. All right, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.